Alright guys, here we have a quote from Inspector Gould trying to encourage the Burlings to understand the situation that Eva Smith faced and the conditions of the working class. It would do us all a bit of good if we sometimes tried to put ourselves in the place of these young women counting their pennies in their dingy little back bedrooms. So let's zoom in on some of the language here. So firstly, do us all a bit of good. He's thinking we want to improve society for everyone, not just the poor. It would do us all a bit of good. That word all there suggests that if we treat everyone with respect and try to get a sense of equality, it won't just help the poor, but it will help society as a whole. Everyone will benefit from that, from being a happier, healthier society. And again, I think if we move on, we see the exasperation, the frustration, the desperation of Inspector Gould. If sometimes we tried, it highlights how little he believes people tried. And obviously with Inspector Gould being the mouthpiece of Priestley, it sort of shows us the desperation and frustration I think Priestley has at this stage in his life as well, about how people are doing very little to help those who need it the most. Finally, we put ourselves in this place. It's an inclusive pronoun. You'll realise this a lot throughout Inspector Gould. He says we and our a lot. He doesn't say you and they. It's an inclusive pronoun that includes everybody. The Burlings, himself, and the audience. This will only work if we all come together to help out here. We then got the words young women. We put ourselves in place of these young women. And I think this juxtaposes girls, which is so often used by the Burlings, including Sheila, when she describes them as girls. The kind of patronising language that they use is juxtaposed here with women. He's giving them the dignity that they deserve. Finally, we've got this imagery here, counting their pennies in their dingy little back bedrooms. We can zoom in on individual words here, like dingy and little, but of course what the imagery here as a whole is doing is developing the audience's understanding of how women like Eva and all the people that she represented lived their lives. So we've got some other quotes there from Gould which really give us the imagery and the desperation of the working classes. And in the context box, the bottom there in black, we've also got how the Industrial Revolution really expanded the cities and created a whole host of housing that really was just frankly unfit for purpose and lived well on into the 1910s and beyond, up until really just after World War II.